Hello everyone and welcome to AI Sciences. I'm your instructor Shehrarusan and in today's video we are going to learn how to create a database using RDS. RDS is another service within AWS which is used to create the database, and this tutorial is specifically designed for beginners. We are going to have a practical implementation as well. So let's get to know about it. Now, what is RDS? RDS stands for Relational Database Service. It is a managed database service for database use where SQL is used as a query language, and it allows you to create databases in the cloud that are managed by Amazon Web Services such as Postgres, mySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, and Aurora. These are all the different engines used for the databases. Right? So what are the pros of using RDS over deploying database on some EC2 instance? Well, there are many pros. RDS is a managed service. There's a good management level in RDS. We have the provisioning, which is automated in it, and we have continuous backups. Like it backups automatically, and we can restore to a specific timestamp as well. We have different timestamps. Let's say 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, any point, right? And we have monitoring dashboards for the performance metrics as well. Then we have the read replicas for improved read performance. Like you can create replicas of your current database as well. Then we have multi-AZ setup for disaster recovery. Like let's say we have two availability zones. I'm gonna draw it. So let's say you have two availability zones, one in San Francisco denoted by S, and the other one in London denoted by L. So basically, if your availability zone in San Francisco it somehow shuts down, you still have this availability zone in London as well. So that is how we have this multi-AZ setup, right? So then we have maintenance windows for upgrades, right? And we have the scaling capability in it, both for vertical and horizontal as well. And the storage, they are backed by EBS in JP2 or IO1 format. Okay, moving forward, talking about the RDS backups. Backups are automatically enabled in RDS. As I told you, they are enabled automatically, and we have these automated backups. We have the daily full backup of the database during the maintenance window especially. And then we have transactional logs that are backed by the RDS every 5 minutes. Like we have different logs. It could be like error log, it could be like update log, it could be any log, right? And then RDS has the ability to restore to any point in time, like from oldest backup to 5 minutes ago to like 5 days ago, anything like that, right? And then we have the retention in it. Let's say 7 days retention, but it can be increased to 35 days. Now, if we talk about the database snapshots, and in database snapshots, the database is manually triggered by the user, okay? And the retention of the backup, it could be for as long as you want. It is not limited to like 7 days or 35 days. It could be as long as you want, right? So let's move forward, and then we will move on towards a practical implementation as well. But now let's talk about the storage auto scaling. So what is this? It helps you increase storage on your RDS database instant dynamically. Now keep this word dynamically in your mind. I'm going to explain it to you. Now when RDS detects you are running out of free database storage, it scales automatically. Now I refer to this scales automatically to this dynamically, right? That is what dynamically means. Now let's say if you are running out of storage, and the RDS, it detects that you are out of storage, it will scale your storage automatically, right? So in auto scaling, you obviously you avoid manually scaling your database storage, and you have to set maximum storage threshold, like the maximum limit for database storage, and you can like automatically modify storage if free storage is less than 10% of allocated storage, and low storage lasts at least 5 minutes, and 6 hours have been passed since the last modification. Now RDS, especially the storage auto scaling, it is useful for applications with unpredictable workloads. Like you do not know at what time it is going to extend the storage, it is going to reach the limit, you do not know. So that is why it is good for the unpredictable workloads, and it supports all RDS database engines like MariaDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, Oracle, right? So over here, an example is given, like an application. It has multi users with it, and yeah, it has read and write transferring over here, but the storage, it is not having any impact on it, right? It is increasing dynamically because of this auto scaling feature in RDS. Okay, so now we are going to have the practical implementation. Since we know what is RDS and what it is used for, we're going to test it now. Okay, I'm gonna move to the browser. Give me a minute, please. Yeah, so over here I am in my AWS portal, and over here the dashboard, sorry, and over here we can access the RDS either from the recently visited tab, or we can also search from over here if you do not have it in the recently visited tab. Let's go for RDS. Yeah, so I'm in this Amazon RDS dashboard, and I need to create a database. So for that I will be moving on towards the databases. I already have one, but we are going to start over again, so I'm going to create a database from over here. Right, so we are on the process to creating the database. Now we have different options over here, and we will go through each option one by one, right? So over here you can see we have this standard create, and then we have this easy create. Now easy create, it uses the recommended best practice configurations, and it will automatically manage everything for you, but we do not need that. Since we are beginners and we need to test everything, we are going to choose the standard create option. And then if you go downwards, we have these different engine types. We have Amazon Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, it's PostgreSQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. Now we are going to follow this MySQL because it's a free tier, okay? And we do not intend to spend any single penny on it. It's our learning process, right? So yeah, we have this edition MySQL community, and we have the version which is the most recent version, and has been set by default. That is good. So we have different templates. Either we can use it for production, which is used for high availability and fast, consistent performance. We can either use it for developer/testing. This instance is intended for development use outside of production environment. And then we have this free tier, right? It is used to develop new applications and test applications, and that is the main objective that we intend to go for. And it doesn't ask for any single penny. So yeah, we are going with free tier. Now you may have noticed that once I click this free tier over here, all these options, they disappeared. Like you do not have the option to enable or disable it. Why does that happen? Like if I go to this dev test, basically it asks for the availability, right? The multi-AZ, the multi-availability zone, and with these two options you have these options available, right? Like you can have your availability zone set in different regions, like in Australia or America or UK or anywhere you want, right? But with free tier, you have just this single one, single instance available, and that is not a big deal, right? We do not need the multiple availability zones right now. We need to test it, right? So yeah, we're good to go. Now for the settings, they are saying that we need to have a database instance identifier. Let's say I'm going to name it as mySQL database, okay? And then we have the credentials. Let's say admin. I'm going to set a password over here, and again I'm going to confirm the password, right? So we're good to go. We have this instance configuration, which is telling us that since it's a free tier, we have this burstable class with it, and it's a micro family, T3 micro, with 1 GB of RAM and this 2085 Mbps of network and 2 vCPUs. Okay, great. So talking about the storage, we have the general purpose SSD. Yeah, I'm gonna set it to default, and we can allocate the storage as well. The free tier, it includes the 20 gigabytes, but if you move forward, it may charge us, right? So I'm going to keep it default 20. Now over here you can see there's an option, enable storage auto scaling. Cool. Now what is it? I just told you about the auto scaling option, where the storage, it increases dynamically, right? So in case when your storage reaches the limit 20 gigabytes, it will pop up that alright, it has reached the destination and I'm going to extend it dynamically to 1000 GB or 10 GB or anything you set it as, right? But the thing is that since we are using free tier, and if we enable this option, and if it extends the storage, it will charge us for this, right? But and we do not need that right now, so I'm gonna disable it. I'm good to go with 20 GB as well. Close this. Okay, yeah, okay. So we have this connectivity. We are using it on the default VPC. Okay, great. Subnet is default. Okay, now public access. Now if I set it to no, it will not assign a public IP address to the database. Okay, and only the Amazon EC2 instances and devices inside the VPC can connect to your database. Now I want to access it from anywhere, especially from I want to access it from my computer, so I'm gonna give it the public access. Yes. And security group, I'm going to choose the existing one, which is default. Okay, preference, I don't want any preference, but if you want, you can set any region. And then we have the database authentication, which is the password authentication. Yeah, for now we do not intend to provide it with high security, so I'm going to set it to this first option, basic option. And then we have this additional configuration. We can write any initial database name, like I'm gonna name it database slash mySQL. Okay, and the parameters are going to be default. I'm gonna enable this automated backups option because I want it to back up automatically. And the retention period, you can have it anything like 7 or till 35, right? So I'm gonna set it to 5. And then a backup window, I don't prefer it. Copy tags to snapshots, that is great. And then we have encryption. What does it do? It provides you with the AWS KMS key, which you are not supposed to lose. Okay, and for the encryption purpose, it will ask you for the master key, and you are asked to provide that AWS KMS key, right? So as I said, I don't intend to provide it with high security for now, so I'm going to disable this option as well. And now over here we have these log exports. Like I told you about the logs, you can have the error log, you can have the general log, the slow query log, audit log, and it is good to have logs. You get to have the details, every detail of the monitoring, right? So you can set the log to anything like error log, and I don't intend to enable anything, but it's good. It's a good practice to have logs within your performance metrics. Okay. So moving on forward, we have this enable auto miner version upgrade, which is in the maintenance section. Yeah, I want that. No preference, or you can choose a window and a starting time, day, and duration. So I'm gonna set it to this for now. And then we have this very good option which wasn't included in the previous interface of Amazon Web Services, but now they have provided us with this feature, which is deletion protection. Enable deletion protection. What does it do? It protects the database from being deleted accidentally. Like if you accidentally delete the database, it will not ask you to confirm for it, right? But if you enable this option, it will ask you to confirm for it. Like, do you really want to delete this, right? So yeah, we're good to go. We have set all the details over here. Yeah. And now what we intend to do is over here we have these details. The Amazon RDS free tier is available for you for 12 months and so on, right? And the details, it says that we have 750 hours of Amazon RDS in a single AZDB, this family, and so on. We have 20 gigabytes of general purpose storage SSD, and then we have 20 gigabytes for automated backup storage and any user initiated database snapshots. Okay, we are good to go now. Yeah. So okay, let's create the database now. Okay, what do we have over here? Okay, it says that if you do not specify database name, Amazon RDS does not create a database. Okay, let's specify the name correctly. Okay, let's erase it. I'm gonna name it mySQL -123 dot database. Okay, so we have the character, we have the letters, and we have the numbers and this dash as well. Okay, wait, let's try this now. Okay, and let's set it to my TB. Okay, yeah, that is simple, and we are good to go now, I guess. Create a database. Yeah, creating a database now, and let me close this. All right, Now, as you may say, you may see that we have this database too, which was already created by me, and now we have this MySQL database, which is you can see over the status over here. It is creating. Okay. Now, in the previous database, I had enabled the monitoring performance metrics, so that is why we have this graph over here, right? And same is the case for this one. I have enabled it, so we will be having the same graph over here, the bar. And if you click on it, you will be able to see the details of it, like the networking and the availability zone, the VPC, the subnets, the security groups. All right, it is, and yeah, we had set it to publicly accessible, so yeah, it's saying yes, and the other details as well. Now it may create a few minutes. Okay, since it may take a few minutes, I want you guys to do one thing, right? I want you guys to go over here and download this SQL Electron software, which is a good software for a database, and it has a good graphical user interface, and you can download it from over here. And it is for, the best thing is that it is available for Linux, Macs, and Windows as well. And if you go over here, you may see the different options over here. For me, it's Windows, so I'm going to choose this Win version, right? And I have it downloaded already. So once you download it, what I want you guys to do is that go to the database, right? And over here, since the other one was being created, you will have this endpoint over here. What I want you guys to do is go over here, right? And I have it set up already, but you may set any name. Like over here, I have this my database name, and then the MySQL is going to be the type over here. And then I want you guys to go over here, and you may see this endpoint over here. I want you guys to copy it and paste it over here. And over here, since you can see over here that we have this port 3306, and over here it's the same port. Why? Because this is the database type MySQL, and you have this your username and password. All right, and then you have this option. Now I want to postpone this thing up to you. I want you guys to save it and to connect it, right, to test it, and you guys are supposed to see, and you can mention in the comments what happens next, right? What's going to happen is that it's going to connect to your database, and you may have this dashboard over here at the left side, where you will be provided with the options accordingly to your database. Okay, I want you guys to test this. So yeah, that is how we create the database. And as you can see, we have the status running now, MySQL database, the one we just created. We have our own database now, and the status is active, it's available, right? And it's publicly accessible. And we have this endpoint, we have the networking type, IPv4 or IPv4.6 or anything you have chosen. For us, we have chosen IPv4, right? And replication, if you want to create any replica of your current database, you can do that as well. And we do have the performance metrics over here as well, as you may see over here, right? How much CPU is being utilized and whatsoever, the current activity, the maintenance, and the VPC. We are using the default VPC for it. So yeah, that is how we use RDS within AWS to create a database. And yeah, that's all for it. And if you guys learned something out of it, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, AI Sciences. I hope to see you guys soon. Until then, have a good day.